Hello, today we are going to be working on day 4, systems of equations, changing both equations. So go ahead and open this. Okay, so you already have the video that you're watching. So first, let's go ahead and open up this right here, okay? So go ahead and open this. And this is a description of what we're doing today. Again, we're solving systems of equations when we have to change both equations, okay? Both equations, okay? That's what's new. So go ahead and read this, especially if you need to translate it. Remember, you can always go to File, make a copy, and then you can, after that, you can go to Tools and you can do Translate, okay? So if you need to translate, make sure to do that. But basically, in the last lesson, we learned how to find a solution to an equation like this, right? Because when you look at this equation here, this is something that if we add it together, just as it is, we'll still have 18x plus 11y. We'll still have two variables. So in the last lesson, we learned how we can change either the 6x into a 12x, but actually a negative 12x because we want the opposite. So remember, our goal is to get, if we have opposite plus opposite equals 0. Our goal is to eliminate something by going opposite. I forgot there's an A missing over here. Opposite plus opposite equals, and then over here 0. That's our goal, right? So for example, I could have negative 3 plus the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3 equals 0, right? Or I could have something like 2x. What's the opposite of 2x? Negative 2x, right? So our goal is to get two opposite terms. So if I look down here, I see, hey, there's a 6x and a 12x. So first of all, I want it to be negative, right? So I'm going to make a negative. So one of them is a negative. Also, since 6 times 2 is 12, or I could go 12 divided by 6 equals 2. I can go negative 2. Let me do this a little bit neater. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit neater. So I'm going to go... Where's my cursor? So negative, come on, where'd you go? Oh, I got my eraser on. So I'm going to go negative 2 times the whole equation, remember? So we're going to go negative 2 times that is negative 12x, right? So now when I add these two together, they're going to cancel, right? But you also remember I have to take the negative 2 times the 7. So it's going to be minus 14y. Equals, and then negative 2 times 52 is negative 104. So this is a problem we did yesterday, but I just want to remind you that that's what we learned how to do yesterday. We took one equation and we multiplied it by a number, in this case negative 2, and then these cancel, right? So then that's 0, and then this is going to be negative 10y equals negative 40, and then we can solve for that, correct? So today what we're going to do is a little bit different than that. Okay, so I want everybody to go ahead and read this very careful. It might be kind of complicated, but the point is we only had to change yesterday we only had to change one equation. The first equation, I just showed you we changed this one. And then we were able to, after we changed this first one and created the second one over here, right? We put it there, and then we were able to combine them, right? And then we created a third equation, a new equation, but it only has one variable, the y. So we can solve an equation with one variable. And remember, when we figure out that y, what the value of y is, we would divide by negative 10, right? This is a problem like yesterday, negative 10. We would get y equals 4, right? Then we take that y, we come up with this equation, we put it there, and then we can solve for x. You did that yesterday, you should have the answer. But again, today, our goal is going to be a little bit different. This was kind of easy. If we know that 6 times 2 is 12, that makes it easy. But today, it may not be that easy to find a number to multiply. So we might have to change both equations so variables can be eliminated. Okay? So again, we're going to find a situation where we might need to multiply both coefficients. Remember, coefficients are the 6 and the 12 from the other equation, but the same term, and create two new equations when we combine them. So again, creating two new equations is what we're going to do today, okay? So let's look at the assignment for today. Let's go ahead and open that up. Okay, so I'm back over into Canvas. So go ahead and download the assignment and open it in Cami if you want to take notes, okay? Okay, so this is the assignment for today. Day 4, changing and combining both equations. Okay, that's what we're going to do today. So let's take this first question number 1. We're going to do the first 3 together in this video. So let's go ahead and take the first question number 1. Okay, so here's question number 1. I've made it bigger for us. So again, our goal is to combine the following equations to find the solution to the system of equations. So let's look at this first one. So first thing I look at the x's, right? I have 3 here and 7 here. Remember, I want the opposites, right? So again, our goal is opposite plus opposite, I'm going to abbreviate, right, equals 0. That's our goal, okay? So I want 3. What's the opposite of positive 3? So if I have 3, I would like to get negative 3. Or if I've got 7, I'd like the other one to be negative 7. So usually what we've been doing is taking the smaller one and multiplying it by a number to get the bigger one. Now we know there's going to be, if I do the x's, one would have to be negative. The sign would have to be negative. But what do I multiply by 3 to get to 3x to get to 7x? Okay? Well, if I multiply by 2, 3 times 2, that's equal to 6. So that's not 7. That doesn't work. Well, how about 3 times 3? Well, that's 9. So what you notice is multiplying 3 by a number is not nice and easy to get to 7. Well, then let's try the y's. Maybe that's easier, right? So let me go ahead and erase this real quick. Okay, so maybe now I can get, can I turn this 2 over here? Oops, I need to get my pen back. There we go. So maybe I can take this 2 and turn it into, or the 2y, right? And turn it into 5y. Well, let's see. I know it would have to be negative, right? Well, how about 2 times 2? That's 4. 2 times 3, we could try that. That's 6. So again, I miss this one. So it's not easy to turn this 2 into 5, into negative 5y is what I'd like to see, right? That's what I'd like to see, but I can't do that, right? So what we're going to do today when you have a situation like that is we're going to have to multiply both equations. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, so since I can't just change one equation, I'm going to change both equations. So see this 3? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 3 and I'm going to multiply it by 7. Okay, so then I'm going to go this one times 7. But I'm going to make it negative 7, okay? And what do I get? Well, I get negative 7 times 3 is negative 21x. And then negative 7 times negative 2, actually that's going to be plus, remember, negative times a negative, 14y. And then it's negative 7 times 17, probably use your calculator. That's going to be 70 plus 49. That's going to, and it's going to be negative, so it's going to be 119, okay? So again, what I did is I multiplied this whole equation by negative 7, okay? Now, I'm going to do the same thing over here, but now I'm going to multiply this equation by the 3, okay? So, but I want to keep it positive because I want there to be a positive x term. So now I'm going to take 3 times this whole equation, and then 3 times the 7x is going to be 21x. And as you can see, the x's are going to cancel, right? And then 3 times a 5 is going to be plus 15y. And then 3 times 88, you might need a calculator, but that's 240 plus 24. That's going to be 264. Now, what you'll end up seeing is, so that this equation is turned into this equation, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and combine these two new equations, both equations. Okay, so again, we see that the x's cancel out, and we no longer have, oops, so I don't want to do that. So the x's cancel out, and we have 0x. We don't need to write that, remember. And then these two together, 14 plus 15, both positive, 29y. And then we get over here, I already started it, 145. And then when you divide both sides by 29, we're back. We have one equation with one unknown, so now we can solve it, right? So our goal is accomplished. Okay, so 145 divided by 29 equals 5, okay? So there we go. So now we have y equals 5. Goal accomplished, right? Now remember, we're going to come back and we're going to put it in one of these equations up here. and create a new equation. So I'll go ahead and do that for you. I'll write it over here. We're going to use the original, not the one that's been changed. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so I took one of the original equations, not the bigger one. I can use these still. And then I took the 5 down here and put it in for the 5 there. And what do we get? We get 3x. This is 10 minus 10 equals 17 plus 10 plus 10. 3x. This goes away, equals 27 divided by 3 divided by 3. X equals 9. Okay, good. So now we have 9 comma 5 as our answer. And don't forget to put it in here to confirm that it's correct, okay? So let's look at one more example just so you can feel comfortable. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at number, let's see, why don't we do number 3, and then number 2, the numbers are kind of similar. Let's look at number 3, okay? So if you want, you can try, if you think you understand the process, you can try number 3, okay? And then you can try number 3, and then you can pause the video and try it, and then I'll show you the solution. Okay, so let me show you the solution. First, I'm going to put it somewhere else so I can write on it a little bit better. How about that? Okay, so we're going to go like here. We're going to go bigger. Let's go control plus. Let's make it bigger. Okay, so I look at this and I say, okay, what do I multiply by 2 to get to 5? 2 times 1 is 2, no. 2 times 2 is 4, no. 2 times 3 is 6, no. So nothing works. Same here. 3 times 1 is 3, no. 3 times 2 is 6, no. 3 times 3 is 9. So same situation. So I'm going to multiply both of them by a number. So I'm going to multiply the first equation by what? By 5, because there's a 5 right here, okay? So this 2 times, so I'm going to multiply the whole equation by not just 5, but negative 5. Here we go. The whole equation, okay? And then I'm going to write it down here, okay? Okay, and when I do, I should get this, negative 10x plus 15y. And now I'm going to take this equation, and what do you think I'm going to multiply it by? Well, now I'm going to multiply it by the positive 2, because this is negative 10x, so I want the opposite of negative 10x, which is positive 5x. So now I'm going to multiply it by the 2 over here, but positive 2, okay? So this whole equation times positive 2, okay? Times 2, okay? So go ahead and do that. Okay, so when I do multiply by 2, this equation here becomes 10x plus 14y. So now check it out. Now I can add them up together and the x's will drop out. Okay, so again, we add up these two. They're opposites, so it eliminates the x, but we have 29y when we add these two and is equal to 174 when we add those two. So you know the next step, right? Divide by 29. Here we go, 29. 174 divided by 29. 174 divided by 29 equals 6. So y is equal to 6. Okay, good. And then remember, we're going to take that and we're going to come and put it, I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to write this equation over here. Okay, and then so I've got the equation over here that I've written. So I'm going to take this 6, put it right here, right? Okay, and then I'm going to multiply this equation out. Okay, and I'm going to simplify. Multiply 7 times 6 to get 42. Okay, so then we subtract 42 from both sides, combine like terms. 5x is equal to 25, and then divide by 5 to cancel that out. And then x is equal to 5. So our final answer is 5, 6. And again, remember to try that in this equation right here. Actually, I already used that, didn't I? So try it in this equation. Okay, guys, so that's how to do this kind of an assignment. Okay, so I've already done questions 1 and 3. I skipped 2 because the numbers are similar to this one. So go ahead and do number 2, and then for more practice, you're going to do the same kind of questions 4 through 7. Okay, so I have those questions due. And then questions 8 through 14 are review questions. For example, you'll be working backwards, and then 9 through 13 are going to be the ones where you know that it's already set up. You can already look at number 9 and say, hey, when I add those up, it'll drop out right away, okay? So that's the assignment. Finish it up and put it into Canvas.